Hello my friends, this is Baal Kadmon, and I would like to thank you for watching and or listening to this video. I just wanted to give you an update on the course that I'm going to be releasing soon, the 72 Demons of the Name, the Left-Hand Pillar of the Shem HaMeforash. I was hoping to at least get it into pre-release this month, December, but it is just massive. There's no way that I can safely get it into pre-release on anytime soon without really putting myself at risk of not getting it out on time. So the new due date is January 2021. So it could be January 1st, it could be January 30th. But definitely I'll keep you posted when the pre-release window opens. And usually I allow, 2 to 3 weeks pre-release before all the videos are dropped. So you'll have plenty of time to get in at the super low price that will be posted when the pre-release begins. Now, I want to tell you, this is going to be the largest course I have ever released to date. I knew it was going to be a pretty substantial course, but it got bigger and bigger and bigger. Just like my book on the devils, demons, and ghosts in the Hebrew tradition. I thought that was going to be maybe 150 pages, and I had pre-released it for 90 days. And it turned out to be over 300 pages. Nearly killed me finishing it. So I learned my lesson, and I am not pre-releasing this until I feel that I'm at a point where I can safely do so. So just to give you just a brief indication of what you will get in this course, or what will be in this course, is one, there's going to be 72 hours of meditation rituals. That is 2 rituals per demon. And the reason why I have it that way is because certain people might feel comfortable accessing and working with demons directly, without any type of protection, just go head first right at it. And that's how I usually work. And then there are those who feel safer having some type of protection before they work with the demons. So I created 2 versions of the rituals for those who want the protection and those who don't. So technically they are 2 different versions, and that's why I'm considering them as a total of 72 hours, because each one is half an hour. But at this rate, just based on what I have, aside from the ritual, including the rituals, this course is going to be at least 100 hours long. That's right, 100 hours. And let me just give you a rundown of what I'm going to be covering. And obviously, as with all my courses and with my books and everything, I tend to start with the bigger, broader ideas first, and then whittle it down to the details. So let me just give you a rough idea of what to expect. So section 1, I start with what is a demon? What in fact is a demon? I go into the origin of the word demon itself, not only in how we know it in English, but also in the Greek and including the Hebrew. I go into the Zoroastrian influence on the idea of good and evil when it comes to the biblical tradition, and more specifically the Old Testament, since there's a more direct influence there, and then it trickles down. I get into the evolution of demonology over 6 videos just on that. I have 2 videos on Satan, not only as an idea, but also as a discrete being. And then I cover hell, the idea of hell. And that's actually really an interesting one, because I cover it from a few different vantage points. But because I tend to like to push towards the Kabbalah, Kabbalah with a K, that is. So it's more like the Hebraic, Kabbalah, not Kabbalah with the Q or the C. Although I will get into that at another point. And I do involves some of that in this. So I go into the idea of hell with that perspective, but I also mention a little bit of the Christian perspective as well. Section 2, I cover King Solomon and the Solomonic traditions, especially the magical ones throughout the ages. I start, again, I try to stay in a chronological order here. So I start with just a general overview, and then I go into how the historian Josephus of the 1st century, approximately, what he knew of King Solomon, and interestingly enough, he knew of this magical tradition surrounding King Solomon. Then I go on to some apocryphal texts, the Testament of King Solomon, which clearly put the Solomonic tradition on the map. I then discuss the Solomonic magic within the PGM. This was a little harder. I read a lot of the barbarous names in this section, and it's quite difficult. I will tell you, it was quite difficult. But really, the goal of that particular video was to show you just how the Solomonic magic even was found in the PGM, and I only could find 3 that were specifically tied to Solomon. There might be more, but those are the 3 that stood out to me. I discuss Solomonic magic within a Kabbalistic text called the Sefer HaRazim, which is the Book of Secrets. And then finally, I finish that section off with the Solomonic tradition in Islam and how he was controlling the jinn. Section 3 involves mostly the Kabbalah, so the first video is really just sort of Kabbalah in brief. And then I go into 2 videos on the left-hand side of the Tree of Life. And I go quite deep there. I then cover the 32 intelligences. This is an advanced Kabbalistic teaching, and I discuss how I weave it into the demonic practice. This might actually be more than one video. I have it here for my notes for this podcast as one video, but this could end up being 2 or 3. And then I finish that section off with an overview of the 72 letter name of God, because obviously there are 72 demons, and that this is pretty much the tradition that it connects to. Section 4, I get into the word Goetia or Goetia. I get into sort of the Greek origin of the word. I give a brief history of the Goetia. I'm just going to call it Goetia for this video. And then I go into 2 videos on how the 72 demons became linked to the 72 names of God. And then over about 3 videos, I go into the sigils, okay, and sort of how sigils sort of evolved over time. Like if you look back early, even like in the PGM, you'll see that there are certain elements that seem to go, that travel down the ages when it comes to sigils and seals and talisman, and they're very similar. There's a lot of similarity. So I discussed that over about 3 videos. And then in section 5, I cover the Hebrew alphabet and the vowels. I don't go into the Kabbalistic meanings of the Hebrew letters and the vowels. I cover that in the 72 Angels course. I didn't want to just repeat myself, but if you wanted to know like just a little bit deeper on the Hebrew alphabet and the vowels, you can get that course if you haven't already. The only reason why I even bring it into this one is because we're going to be using some Hebrew here, especially when it comes to the names of the demons, and it's very important because you're going to see a lot of discrepancies here, and knowing the basics of the Hebrew alphabet and the vowels is going to be very helpful for you. In this section also, I go through the demonic names in Hebrew per Thomas Rudd. Okay, he wasn't the only one that had like a Hebrew names of these demons, but it's one of the more popular versions. And so I present that, and I got this from the Goetia from the Mather's book and Crowley's book. And then I go into the next video where I make corrections to those names, because a lot of those names are not native to Hebrew, obviously, and some of them are. And so I made a lot of corrections to how I feel the names should be written and pronounced in Hebrew. You don't want to miss that, because I really go into great depth about that. And then the final video in section 5, I go into just like additional points of the Hebrew names, because there's some nuance that is missed. In section 6, I just go through the descriptions of all the 72 demons, and I modernize the descriptions a little bit, because I find, some of these other books, they're just copy and pasting, descriptions from the older Goetia texts, and then Crowley and Mather's book, and it's still using, sort of antiquated language. So I sort of brought it into a more modernized, I modernized the descriptions a little bit, and I add various correspondence, like the time of day and all of that stuff. Section 7, this is the final section, and who knows, I might even add another section, we'll see, is the first video of section 7. I go into like the general nature of like angels and demons, and I think people have this misconception of what they are, and tell you the truth, some of the harshest magic I've ever done was done with angels, and the most gentlest has been with demons. So I try to dispel the myth that demonic magic is not necessarily harsher than angelic magic. It might be sometimes more direct, but it isn't always. I mean, if you call some demons, you're like, they'll kick your ass, whereas the demons sometimes, will wear kid gloves for you, So I get into that a little bit, and then after that, I get into the 144 rituals. Like I said, there are 2 meditation rituals for each of the demons. So, as you can see, there is a lot I am adding to this course, and who knows, might be even more. So, if you're interested in this, if you're interested to know when it's going to be in pre-release, you can subscribe below. If you've already not subscribed, if you're already subscribed to my mailing list, obviously you don't have to resubscribe, but if you haven't, the link below will take you to the subscription page, and all it will do is it'll just put you on the list to let you know when it goes into pre-release. Because I'll tell you the truth, I'm not the best at social media. Most of you didn't even know I had the Egyptian course until I posted it. I didn't even post the angel course on social media. That's my block, right? Everyone has their own little thing to work through, and I'm working through it. So I think to subscribe is actually safer, but I'll try to be better at it and post it on social media as well. Just a little demon I have to exercise. So anyway, that's it for today. Again, this should be coming out January 2021, and I'm really excited about it, because this will be massive, and I really think you'll enjoy it. So until next time, I will speak to you soon. Be well. Happy New Year. As happy as you can have it during this weird time that we're in. And I'll probably touch base again, but just in case, I will speak to you soon. So mote it be.